Roberta.
See?
Welcome to Cool Girls Club interview.
Thank you.
Number, I don't know. It's been a few interviews now. Thank you for having me in your house.
My pleasure.
So we're gonna start by asking you, what is it that you do? What's your story?
Sure. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Roberta. I'm originally from Italy and moved here about 8 years ago for the first time in the UK. I am a nutrition therapist and women's health expert, and I'm the founder of IBelieveInGinger.com. I'll get to how I chose this name.
I have that question.
I'll get to that.
I have questioned that many times in my head. I need to ask her.
Yeah. Well, then I'll answer right away. Ginger is one of my favorite things ever in terms of spices and like how to use it with foods. It has very strong anti-inflammatory properties, and I do think it's one of the most healing, let's say, things that you can add to your diet.
Okay.
Just on a regular basis. It can really help for so many things like nausea, inflammation. So yeah, I'm a big fan of ginger.
You believe in ginger?
I do. I do. Absolutely.
Awesome. So how did you get to becoming a nutritionist?
Mm-hmm. So, fun enough, I wasn't always the healthy person you see today, and I wasn't always into health at all. Mm-hmm. So my friends and like my family, it took them a while to understand the new version of
the change. Roberta.
Absolutely.
What do you mean you're not having pasta and bread at the same time?
Exactly. Well, no, I'm not having pasta and bread. Full stop. Yeah. So it was a big evolution, I would say, a big change for, being Italian and for my friends and family not understanding why. But the realization came to me because when I moved to the UK in 2012, all of a sudden I started suffering with things such as skin rashes and IBS and bloating. I mean, and when I say all of a sudden, it wasn't that sudden. I was diagnosed at the age of 14 with polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Okay. And
at the time, and still today, the only treatment for that is surgery and taking the pill, so the contraceptive pill.
Okay.
Which I didn't question for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So I just did what doctors told me to do, and it kind of managed the symptoms, let's say. It didn't make them worse.
Okay.
But then I got to the point when I moved here and I faced real life and obviously different habits and different, I would say, environments as well.
It's a different rhythm.
Yeah,
it's very fast here. It's very stressful here sometimes.
Exactly. So hectic lifestyle. And not looking after myself at all, because being 21, it was just not a priority.
Yeah.
That got me into a very bad state of health. I think looking back, that seemed like a burnout. I remember being like very depressed and like crying a lot and not knowing what I wanted to do. But I do connect it all with, my physical well-being. At the time, I wasn't looking after myself. So that for me was a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. And I decided, since I was having so many reactions to foods, to learn a bit more about it. So I did like an allergy test, and I was trying to, see if I was intolerant to any foods, and obviously I was.
You were?
Yeah, so things like dairy and wheat, came up.
Okay.
So I started, doing a bit of elimination diet.
That's annoying for an Italian.
I know. But even
like, I'm French, and if you take out the cheese from my diet, I'm not gonna be happy.
I know, and I wasn't, and it was very hard, it's not an easy, and it wasn't an overnight switch, it was a long process. It's taken me years to get to where I am now. But I would say my health struggles were the motivation to make a change. Mm-hmm. And once I started doing very little things, I'm not talking about, again, like life-changing choices. I started removing sugar one day, and another month I started trying without bread and then without pasta, and little by little I started seeing how I got better. So that really fascinated me, and I started researching the science behind it, and I thought there must be, if I feel all these benefits, surely there must be something out there that proves that this is right. And there was. So there is a whole science called nutritional science, and I started reading more and more, and then eventually I decided to go back and study to actually be qualified and help people getting on a similar journey.
Okay, cool. So the women that you help today, what did they suffer from mainly?
So one of the main symptoms my clients, my patients come to me with is fatigue. So fatigue seems to be like, you know, the century problem for everyone. Fatigue, stress, stress and bloating, IBS. So clearly everything is related. But the other thing that for women is very much a reporting, I call it like a monthly report card, is your period.
Yeah.
So your period tells you a lot about your health status, you know, not only just the color of, you know, of the blood and the consistency and the length of your periods, but also things such as, you know, cyclical patterns. So do you get, you know, certain do you get certain, let's say, bloating at some point during the month, or even just mood swings, irritability, libido, like how is your feeling, like how do you feel about having sex? Because healthy individuals should feel like having sex, particularly around your ovulation time. Because by evolution, that's when you should get pregnant. So your body is trying to tell you, we need to reproduce.
Let's get to work.
So so all these things put together. So I look at the holistic picture of what your body's trying to tell you. I look at your skin, I look at your habits. And when I say I'm a nutritional therapist, I'm also a naturopath, which means I look at your lifestyle in general. So how, you know, do you look after yourself? How do you sleep? What's your routine like? Do you exercise? Do you take time to just relax at the end of the day? And so it's much more complex than just eating.
Do you take time to relax at the end of the day? That's a Londoner's question.
Yeah.
What is the first thing that you could tell, you know, women who come to you? Like what like give me like few tips like that they could incorporate in their life to you know, go against fatigue, have better libido, have better skin.
So I mean, depending on the kind
of
issues, ginger, absolutely. But depending on the kind of issues that you know, my patients come to see me, I try to work with their GPs as well, because it's very important that you get some blood tests done and, you know, rule out certain conditions. Because in certain cases, you know, you might need just a bit more than just ginger. Let's be honest. But that's the first thing I would do. So like ruling out any conditions. But in terms of, let's say, the top 3 things I would tell anyone to do, regardless of what they're coming to see me for, is to remove sugar. And when I say sugar, guilty. And when I say sugar, I mean literally anything that can be considered processed. Okay, because we really don't understand in how many things sugar can be hidden.
There's sugar in everything.
And I mean everything.
Everything.
Even something that apparently looks healthy, like a tomato paste. You look at the ingredients, and there's like a ton of, you know, bad stuff in there. So that's probably the main thing I would say, and I would obviously educate people on how to do that and how to swap for other things. So remove processed foods and sugar, and incorporate as much like fresh foods and foods that look in their original state. And then the other thing is like going back to ginger, incorporate herbs in your life, because herbs are so powerful. Herbs from good sources, so organic where possible, but things like ginger and turmeric and oregano, and they're very powerful. They're not just you know, ingredients. They
don't just taste good. What do you think about supplements? Because I, like, for example, my fiance, he has loads of supplements. And sometimes he tells me, oh, you should take some. Like, literally, there's a little table full of little tubes and whatever, and
I'll show you mine later.
Full of supplements. And there's just so many things in there, and I'm just like, I don't feel like my body needs it, but he's always like, you should take some, this is good for you, that is good for you, blah blah blah, blah, and vitamins, and like I never take any vitamins really, and I and whenever I do, I don't feel like it does anything to me.
Okay, so I think there is a lot you can do through foods, but I'll tell you, like, the reality of things is, in modern way of producing food, so modern agriculture in particular, and the way soil is depleted these days from nutrients, it is very challenging to get the amount of nutrients, minerals that you need from just vegetables alone. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why I started eating meat and fish again, because things such as zinc, for example, very high in things like oysters and shellfish. So I reintroduced them in my life. Obviously, things like iron is not in the same amounts that you can get from lentils or beans when you get it from a fresh grass-fed
piece of meat.
So there are reasons behind certain choices, but going back to supplements, I think that first of all, if you're in an acute illness state, you do need supplements. I think that most of the supplements you get on the high streets are rubbish. So that could be why you haven't felt a need or any change happening in your body. I think you do need to work with a professional in order to understand what you need to take. Because you might take things that, again, like it might not be the right choice, but also it might not be a good manufactured product.
It's not good quality.
And it probably is not high enough. You probably need more. So you need to, I would say, work with someone to understand that.
So you had your own journey, you came out of it, and you're like, this is what I want to do. I mean, because some people can go through this journey but not necessarily decide to make this into a business.
That's true.
So what happened that you just went, you know what, actually this is what I want to do, this is my purpose?
I think one of the main motivations was the fact that I get very angry with most messages I see. So the messages I see on the media, the messages I see on the marketing labels. So when enter a shopping center, or when you enter a supermarket, and the kind of labels and the way they're trying to sell you stuff. So that was one of my main reasons for being like, no, I need to educate people, because it's so disempowering listening to the media and what they want you to believe. That people need to know what's the real story, and then make their own choices, but at least they need to know the other side of the story. So you wanted to change the world. Well,
with nutrition. And
absolutely.
It's educate people, or let people know that there's a different way of living. That in which they could feel much better.
Absolutely. I think my main message is to empower people making their own choices, but at least knowing that there is a better way of living. Because when you live in an average state, you don't even know how it feels to be better.
Absolutely. Because you have no idea what your 100% is.
Exactly. You don't know the difference. And I've seen so many changes, Chloe, in my life once I started changing my diet. I've seen the changes in my performance, first of all, in how much more active I am, and I feel smarter. I'm not gonna lie. I do.
Your brain now.
I do feel smarter than I was. I feel much more efficient and awake and aware. So I think that if everyone could do this, think how massive of an impact that would be in the world. If anyone realized and woke up and felt better in their own skin, think how much more, first of all, less angry people could be, and how much loving and how more mindful, because that came all as a ripple effect on me. Like, I started feeling better, I became more aware, I started doing more volunteering and
more calm,
and I felt more calm, and I was better for the people around me.
Absolutely.
And you start attracting good things. Honestly, I'm getting goosebumps as I say this, because I truly believe in it. I truly believe that once you're better for yourself, you're better for people around you,
humanity,
your community, and the people you serve. So I do want to change the world.
Yeah, awesome. Is that what you think purpose is? What's your take on what purpose means? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, is to make an impact.
Okay.
So purpose for me, like living a successful life, would be being able to make an impact on other people. And it doesn't have to be 2 million people. It can be one person a month. But knowing that the person will have an impact on the people around them, and those people around them and in their community, that for me is a massive achievement. And that, I would say, at this stage of my life, I feel that that's what purpose is for me.
Okay. Yeah. You feel called to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I like to share this little thing about purpose that I heard once, and I was like, this is good. This is a good definition. It's using your own skills, using your skills to be of service to others, and your skills, but also like what you love, in order to be of service to others, which kind of brings us to the topic of starting your own business in something that you love. So turning your skills into a product, and a business and a freelancing activity from which you can live. How was that for you? And like, what were your biggest challenges on your self-employment journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think there are always going to be challenges when it comes to work, no matter if you do what you love or what you don't love. Obviously, it's a whole different way of working, so you have to constantly produce content, you have to make sure you do a good job, because people talk.
Yep.
And there's nothing as powerful as a happy patient. Yeah. Because they're going to tell a friend.
For you and for them.
Absolutely. And another friend, and again, like, that's going to get you more patients and, more clients, obviously. So the change has been interesting, because obviously working full-time job, and having to do that on the side, and trying to scale it, it's a challenge itself. But things that I think today are super important are obviously the internet, producing online content, producing Instagram, having a presence on Instagram. And I try to get speaking gigs, so I try to host events which most likely are free or like very small fees to get in, to get people into this. Because the other thing is, it's a very, I would say, niche topic. Because not everyone is ready to listen.
No. Are you ready to listen? No, but it's true. Like, it's almost like you have to go slowly, dropping,
drop feeding, because it's a lot.
It is a lot,
and it's an investment as well, because changing your habits can be, for some people, overwhelming. So
what was the most difficult thing in building your business?
I would say doing this kind of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You look pretty confident.
Well, because I've been practicing. I've been doing events over the last year or so, and that gave me the confidence of talking about these things.
Okay.
But obviously, I think the other biggest challenge was thinking that I was good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Because your limiting beliefs are gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
And things such as, but there's so many other practitioners that have more experience than you and have been doing it for longer. Surely you're not good at as good as them, and why would they come to you? So I think breaking through that barrier of getting to do it, and then get real feedback instead of your own feedback. And then the other thing was to get things in place. So understand what is it that you can delegate, understand what is it that you can do by yourself. And the biggest thing that's helped me is been having a coach. So I've had no, but like,
I wasn't your coach by the way.
She wasn't my coach.
But the value of a coach, like,
it's incredible.
even the coach has to have a coach.
Yeah.
Like that's rule number 1.
I think everyone should have a coach.
Everyone should have. Actually, I think like whatever we teach in coaching, that should be taught at school.
Yeah.
Like the same way there must be sex education, there must be like emotional intelligence education.
I love that. Yeah. So having a coach, it has helped me a lot. Actually, going back to your previous question of understanding how did you turn a passion into a business, that was probably thanks to my coach. Because at the beginning, I had no idea. I had a blog where I was sharing my own experience.
Oh.
Obviously, that was quite an investment in terms of time.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, maybe this could be my living. This could be my day job. So learning how to monetize and, making sure you have a strict plan you stick to. Yeah. I needed a coach for that. Yeah. You need someone to hold you accountable. Yeah. Towards certain things.
My next question is, what would you tell a younger version of yourself in terms of business?
In terms of business?
Yeah. And I mean, what would you tell a young woman who has a purpose, not a purpose, but like a project? Obviously, if that's related to your purpose, that's even better. That's what I prescribe. But, what if, they have this idea, something that they'd really love to do, and it's this project, and it could be business, but it could also be a personal project. What would you tell them?
Well, I kind of already said get a coach.
Get a coach. Okay.
No, I'm honestly like a massive fan of how much a coach can help you. So that would be my number 1. But to add on that, I would say get people around you. Like make sure you surround yourself with the right tribe. Yeah.
Community is very important. Yeah.
Yeah. But also like a supporting system. I think a lot of the problems we have in society today and mental health issues is because we don't have a good enough, or we don't build for ourselves a good enough support system, and we feel judged by our family and our partners, and that shouldn't be the case. Your friends and your family and your partners should be there to support you no matter what you decide to do. Yeah. And again, I couldn't have got out of my comfort zone and growing if my support system wasn't there for me. Particularly my partner, like bless him. He has to deal with all of that.
Yeah. So my last question is, what does it mean for you, a cool girl? Like, who is this cool girl? What's your interpretation of a cool girl?
I think a cool girl is a girl that helps other girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
A cool girl is a girl that wants to make an impact for someone other than herself, and that wants to empower other generations and communities and people. That's what a cool girl is for me. And there's so many cool girls out there. So many inspiring cool girls out there.
And what does it take to be a cool girl? What are her values and qualities?
I think what's the word, like generosity. So trying, being open to contribution. That's not one of my very favorite words. So being able to contribute without necessarily wanting something back. So that's probably one of the qualities. Yeah. And curiosity. So being curious to explore things that are not comfortable, and what it takes to get to that contribution bit. Courage, yeah. Bravery. Absolutely.
I love that. Courage. That's one of my values is courage.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. A cool girl must be brave, and girls are much braver than what they think they can be. Yeah. Again, because growing up we get all these messages in our heads that you can't do it because you're a girl, or
you're soft, and
you need to be like gentle and quiet. Just like, you're a badass.
Actually, there are many women out there like just really doing themselves and being very brave. Yeah, definitely. And sometimes I think a sign of bravery is not necessarily something external. Like it could be having the courage to become a better person, or having the courage to look at your ego, to look at your ugly side, you know, like to really know yourself, and to discover things about yourself, and be willing to see the good, the bad, and the ugly about yourself, and but also about the world. And I absolutely agree with that. It doesn't have to be a massive change. It doesn't have to be a career change, or you know, moving to another country. It can literally be changing relationship, or absolutely,
you know, saying no to something that is not serving you. That's brave. You know,
absolutely. It can be having a conversation with your dad. I don't know. Like
you need to be brave for that.
You need to be brave. Like I just had a conversation with my mom, and like, my God, it just brought up so much shit, and I was being so conflict averse and not wanting to deal with it, and then there was a point where I was like, no, like I need to deal with this. I need to address this, and the most powerful way I can, and maybe I'll make mistakes, but I can't run away from this.
Absolutely. It's about having that conversation. Owning it. Take responsibility for who you are being in your life. Take responsibility.
I don't take responsibility anymore as a heavy word. I used to, but it's actually, I take responsibility for myself. And like for who I am, and it's really changed the way I live, and even my relationships with people.
Changes everything. It's one of the principles that I really embrace.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell everyone where to find you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram. I believe in ginger. That's probably where I publish most of my content.
I'm sorry,
posts.
This doesn't look like ginger to me.
I agree. I must admit, this was given to me as a gift for moving into my new home. I would have never bought this thing.
All right.
What is it?
You're excused. I have
Galaxy.
Oh my God.
So that's for guests. But I did give you some herbal tea.
Yes.
Must have said. Anyways. I believe in ginger.com. That's my website. There is loads of good tips on my blog. Obviously it's free. There is a freebie as well. There is an ebook where it tells you 5 things that you can do from today to start living a more energetic life and balance your hormones. And indeed, if you have any questions, please reach out to me.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
YouTube hug.
Thank you so much for having me. No, thank you. Thank you for coming all the way here.